Really sorry. Fine, ma'am. Hope good that we have not missed much. All right, let's make this little more complex. We what we have learned so far is if conditions. Okay, now see what is nested if condition. So if within if will be called as nested if conditions. That is my nested if. Okay. Okay, let's say this is a sample data that I have. Okay. Okay. Now we'll keep it simple. This is the sample. So this is the data set. Now what I want is if my sales is like this is my range. This is the range that my stakeholder has given. If my if sales is greater than 260, let me see what I've written. Okay, greater than 100. If it's equal to and greater than 100, it should be good. If it is between greater than 60 and less than 100, then average. And if it is less than 60, it's poor. Okay, so we want to achieve that. Let's see how to do that. We'll do it below. So on top I've already done it, but let's see how to do that. Okay. Everyone clear with the requirement? It's very important. So basically it helps to categorize. So when you get into data analytics, it's one thing is very important is to categorize your data so that you can analyze it properly. Okay, so here we are doing a basic categorization, that is good, average, poor, based on the sales score. Okay, but yeah, in real world it's not going to be that easy. There could be a lot of complexity, but here is how you start learning this. Let's see how to do that. What we need is this is my threshold given by my stakeholder, and I want to achieve this. Let's write a formula equal to if my sales is greater than 100, then good. Now instead of giving a false value, I'm going to start one more if. Okay, and comma. Now it is asking for false value, but I want to start one more if because I want to meet all these three conditions. If my sales is greater than 60, I'll have to put and here, and sales is greater than 60 and sales is less than 100, then okay. Now again comma. Now we do not have one like more conditions. The last condition that is remain is poor, so we can directly give it in the else statement. So assuming there are more conditions, we have to write more ifs. Okay, but for this example we just have three conditions: good, average, and poor. So good and average we have put under condition, else everything there that doesn't fall in this range will be considered as poor. Okay, so I'll put poor. So this will come if you miss any brackets here. Okay, just click yes and that it will take care. Now if you drag the formula, okay, you get the desired result. Okay, it is greater than 70. Okay, so this is nested if. What we are learning is very basic nested if, but yeah, there is a lot to if condition gets very complex if you have some business, some complex scenarios. Currently what we have done is what we have is taken a very simple scenario here. Let's say if we have more more scenarios like more good, average, poor, very poor, and all, like pathetic and all those things, the if condition will get more complex. We need to add more ifs, in our formula. Okay, clear so far how we have written if condition? Something which you need to practice, very properly. It should be, on top of your mind always. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Let's see what is our next topic. Okay. Pivot table, again, very simple. I'm sure most of you are already aware, but we'll see. We'll just create a small pivot. Uh, let's say I create a pivot and insert a sheet. I want to create a pivot. Uh, I go to insert. My pivot table option is here. I need to select the range. Now I want to get my data from raw data set. Okay. So instead of selecting the range, what I'll need is, what I'll do is I'll select the entire column. Okay, entire data set. Let's say what I have done is I've selected from A to U. This is my range. If I click OK, my pivot is ready. Now my need is, let's say I want to see my segment wise sales. I put my segment in my row column and then sales in my, let's say I put profit also. Okay, we are getting blank here because we have selected an entire data set. Okay, had it been like we selected only the data part, then you will not see blank here, but it's okay, it doesn't harm. Okay. Now let's say you have one more pivot using the same data. I'll create one more pivot with the same data set. I put segment, but under segment I also want, let's say, category. Okay. And then I want sales and profit. Okay. So yeah, pivot is very useful, in terms of doing analysis, and it is also a good presentation. I mean, when want to see some basic, want to create some basic reports with some valuable insights, a pivot can be used. Uh, but yeah, when it comes to a complex analysis, and there is more required. You need dashboarding, you need charts. Because visually people are more accustomed to see insights visually than just seeing the numbers. But yeah, pivot is good way to start the analysis. Now a very interesting thing is, we have slicers. We want to slice, filter and slice the data set in pivot. We can make use of slice. We'll see how to do that. Now let's say if I create a slicer, you go under pivot analyzer. Here we have an option called insert slicer. Now I'll create a segment. Okay, so it will give me slicer. Now one thing you notice that it is only filtering this. It is not filtering my second chart. And in order to do that, right click on your pivot slicer, report connections. Here you need to connect your second pivot with this slicer. Now if you select, it will select both the, but there is a prerequisite. I mean, both the data should be from the same data set. If they are coming from a different data set, like from different sheets, then it won't work. Okay, it has to be in the same, both the pivots should be from the same data set, and the data source range should be same. Like you cannot select different ranges, and then it won't work that way. Okay, good so far.
Showing pictures that match.
Yes.
Okay. Now let's see how to create a calculated field. Okay. Okay.
I had one doubt. Can I ask now
Sure,
or
sure. Yeah, you
at
can.
the end?
No, no, we can. Yeah, you can ask now.
Yeah, actually, sometimes what is my requirement is that I do the pivot table thing, and I have to use I have to use the values of the pivot table to make some different calculations. So we look up or anything like max
Hmm.
min and all.
Yeah, yeah.
So when we paste the pivot table, it comes as pivot table, or maybe
Hmm.
when we paste it as values it comes as values. But if I want to paste just one column, like if I just want to paste sum of profit, or if I paste one by one value, then it doesn't come like that, no? Like it will come as a table of something something, pivot
Uh,
table consumer equal to, वैसे कुछ तो आता है ना?
अच्छा ऐसा you are saying,
ल-
yeah.
हाँ, मतलब इफ यू पेस्ट 67011, नहीं डायरेक्टली इफ यू, हाँ तो वो अगर इफ यू पेस्ट 67011, अगर बाजू
हाँ.
में इफ यू पेस्ट, तो वो गेट पीवर्ट ही आएगा ना उसका, मतलब इट वोंट कम एज वैल्यू ना?
नहीं नहीं, it will come
अच्छा
at a value
ओके।
only. Yeah, get pivot.
अच्छा, हाँ हाँ, राइट राइट, सॉरी, अगर मेरे को फॉर्मूला लगाना है टू डू वी
हाँ
लुकअप फ्रॉम द पिवट
हाँ.
टेबल, तो
And
मेरे को आई हैव टू पेस्ट इट एज अ टेबल डिफरेंट
नहीं नहीं, what you
जगह
can
पे।
do is, you see when you ये फॉर्मूला करना है तो ऐसा करके तो
हाँ
गेट पिवट आएगा, बट देयर इज एन ऑप्शन टू गेट
हाँ
रीड ऑफ दैट. आई मीन,
ओके,
लेट्स सी यहाँ पे गेट पिवट का ये निकाल दो.
जनरेट गेट
इक्वल टू
पिवट।
यहाँ पे आएगा तो अभी वो रेंज
ओ,
देगा. ओके.
ओके ओके, हाँ ठीक है, थैंक यू।
So it is under pivot and a good question, but yeah, under pivot table there is an option. We'll keep it on because I need this. Get pivot is very useful. I mean, something very useful I have learned. So we'll see that. We'll make use of get pivot when we learn dashboard techniques.
ओके ओके,
Okay.
या।
Good so far. Good question, but yeah. Uh, let's move ahead. Now what we want is we want to create a calculated field. What I want is I want to see my profit percentage. Okay. Let's see how to do that. I click on this. There is an option under pivot table called field setting calculated field. I'll name this as, let's say, profit percentage. My formula will be profit divided by sales. You have to double click divided by sales. Okay. Now it is giving me profit. You can now change this to percentage. So in order to do the formatting, it is recommended that you do uh, yeah, 1 minute. So there's a disturbance. Yeah, you should not do it from here on pivot table. There is a way to do it from here, using percentage, but should not do it on pivot. All you need to do is right click on your pivot, value field setting. Here you get format option. Here from here you change to percentage. Let's say you don't want decimal. Okay. See, because when if you do it from here and there is any refresh happen in pivot, your formatting will go away. So best practice is you do it from pivot itself, value field setting, uh, then number format percentage. Okay. So again, very important topic. Calculated field, you will once you get into a data analytics, do some complex analysis, you definitely have to make use of calculated field. And this particular concept remains same in all the BI tools. We have Tableau, we have Power BI. All these tools make use of calculated field. Something very important to learn. Now let's say, all right, now we will learn some very important things, that is VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. Okay. uh, and then we'll see some complex formulas. So VLOOKUP is something, let's say, we have a database of say student ka database. Okay, database is very large. There are like thousands of students, and now you have an student ID of say 2 3 people, and you want to find the marks. Okay, you want to find the marks of those students. So meeting will end in 10 minutes. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, want to find the marks of this three table. You cannot, it will be very cumbersome if you just look manually in the large database, and hence you want to make use of VLOOKUP to find the values. Let's see an example. Okay, this is all right. Okay, now this is the product ID I have. Okay, this comes from my raw data. Under in my raw data, I have, there's such a big, data I have. Now my stakeholder has given me, my client or stakeholder, whatever you name, has given me this product ID, and they want to know what are the product name, category, sales, quantity, discount, and profit, for this product ID. We need to do that using VLOOKUP. Okay, so equal to VLOOKUP. My lookup value will be the value that I want to see. Okay, value that I want to find. Okay, comma. My table array will be from where I want to find the information, so which will be my raw data. But the first column that you select should be the should come from the same from which you want to find the value. That is the lookup value, which is the product name. किधर गया? अच्छा, product ID पहला ही है. See, अगर ये यहाँ पे रहता था, if this would have been here, you will select it from here. Now, fortunately it is the first one, so I'll select the entire column, and I'll select the what I want is product name ना. तो product name जो मेरा है वो मेरा 17th column है, and you see here when I'm selecting this, it is giving me the numbering of column. That is what we are going to use in our formula. Okay, product name, और क्या क्या है, कैटेगरी मेरा 15 पे है, 16 पे सब कैटेगरी है, 17 नेम, then 18 19 20 21. Okay, so this is my table array, comma, depending upon what you want to pull. Let's say product name है तो फिर 17 comma 0. 0 will always be there. Okay, now what I did, ये मैंने find किया डेटा में से, this was in my first column and this was in my 17, hence I have put 17. Now category 15 number पे है, right? Now if I just copy and drag it, okay, it has given me hash NA. Can someone tell me, we have learned this, why this is giving, error?
It's not frozen.
Huh?
It's not frozen.
Yeah, it's not frozen. That's correct. Very first thing, very important thing we need to do is we need to freeze our lookup value so that it doesn't, it will be my column freeze. Okay. अभी क्या होगा इसको? अच्छा, we also need to freeze our ये ना, ये भी हिल रहा है ना. See, when I do this is changing to B to V ना. So we also need to freeze our table array. Just 1 minute, my daughter has woke up. Yeah, sorry about this. Okay, now if we put, we'll get the same value here. We need to change the numbering. I mean, our category is in 15 positions. We'll change it to 15. Okay, and then sales mera, this was my 17. So sales mera kidhar tha? I think sales is then 18, 19, 20. Sales 18 mein. Eighteen, 19, 20, 21. Okay, now I'll just drag this. Pura. Clear? It's a very important formula. I mean, it's not that, I mean, what we are saying is very easy example of VLOOKUP, but it gets very complex when you have, when to find information from the large data set. Okay. All right. So some important things that you need to remember is, your range should start from your lookup value field. Okay. Agar if for example, if in our data, if my product ID would have been started from say column F, then your first selection will be F say. Okay. Wherever my lookup value field is there placed, you have to select that first. Okay. Then move vertically, select the entire uh, range. So this is something which you need to practice, very dedicatedly, need a very good hands-on on VLOOKUP, if conditions and all those things. HLOOKUP is something not very commonly used, but we will see, but VLOOKUP is something is very, very, vastly used. I mean, if you get into, this kind of role, or if you're already, in this role, I'm sure you will need to use VLOOKUP very frequently. Yeah. Now let's see HLOOKUP. I have an example.
Sir, I had one question.
Yeah.
So sometimes when we use VLOOKUP, there comes an error called as spill. So this error has actually started coming from 1 or 2 years. So I used to avoid that by doing rework again and again. But I
Spill.
mean, I,
Mm,
I
yeah, if
don't
you
know, like,
spill will come when, uh, no, I'm not sure about. Say, if your formula is right, then there should not be any error. You
okay,
know, there could be something wrong with the formula, and hence, error will come.
okay,
And
okay,
very first thing is, you this should be unique value. Maybe अगर unique नहीं रहेगा तो say in data set it has to be unique value. अगर data set में unique नहीं है तो it will take, let's say, ये data set if I maybe is this reason नहीं. So क्या डेटा में डेटा अगर यूनिक रहेगा तो इट विल टेक फर्स्ट वैल्यू, मतलब जो भी फर्स्ट मिलेगा उसका वो वैल्यू देगा. So important thing need to understand that, on your data set your lookup value is unique. Okay.
yeah,
Spill
okay,
ka, one thing you can do, I mean, for error, let's say, 1 minute, let's say ये हम लोग चेंज कर देते हैं. Okay, ये एरर आ गया क्योंकि ये VLOOKUP was not able to find any values in the data set.
yeah,
Now we want to show something else on this. You will make use of if error statement. यहाँ पे I'll put if error, then say value not found. Okay, now it will show value not found. The moment you put the 0 back, it will give you the proper value. Clear?
yeah,
Yeah.
okay, yes.
So yeah,